Okay, Hariom everyone. Now my voice is clear along with the recording.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll start today with cardiovascular disorders. In cardiovascular disorders, first we'll go for hypertension. Our first disease is hypertension. Cardiovascular disorders, the disorders of heart. Cardiovascular means heart. Cardio means heart. Okay. So cardiovascular disorders, these are also known as CVDs because cardiovascular disorders, CVDs, these are nothing but a group of a medical condition that affects the heart. These are not single disease but a group of conditions. CVDs are the group of the conditions that affects our heart and blood vessels, the vessels which are providing blood to heart. Okay. Now, CVD is nowadays leading most common cause and is also the reason for the death all over the globe. Okay, this is normal. Can range from relatively mild condition to life threatening. Can leads to death, like mainly like heart attack. Very big problem. Heart attack, asthma. These are the very most common problems okay, nowadays. So, first of all, to understand hypertension, we'll go for what is exactly blood pressure. Not so important for you in very common things which you know in day-to-day life. Still, I have mentioned here to make this as a background or as a base for your topic. Okay. So, what is blood pressure? Blood pressure is a measure of the force that blood exerts on the bones of. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. Can you just speak little slower?
Okay, ma'am. Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Sure. So now we'll go for blood pressure. What is blood pressure? It is force that your blood exerts on the walls of arteries. What it means, these are our arteries. Blood is flowing through them. Whatever this blood is exerting the force on these walls of arteries, this exact pressure, this is known as blood pressure. Okay, the force our blood is traveling through these arteries. Whatever the force this blood is putting on these walls, this is called as blood pressure. Okay. Therefore, it is written the force that blood exerts on the walls of arteries as it flows through them. Okay, blood is normally flowing through these arteries. Whatever the force it is forcing on these walls is known as blood pressure. This pressure is known as blood pressure. It is typically expressed as in two numbers that we know, systolic and diastolic. We'll see ahead in further slides what is systolic and what is diastolic. Sorry. These two numbers represents different phases of cardiac cycles, okay, and provides important information about the health of your cardiovascular system. Because these two numbers, systolic and diastolic, only defines whether you have the proper or exact or correct measure of your blood pressure, and blood pressure is directly related to your heart, okay. Because what is blood pressure? It is the force that blood is exerting on the walls of your cardiac vessels. Okay. So what is blood pressure? This is systolic and nasal. The upper number, as we told, there are two numbers. The upper number is called as systolic. Okay. Upper number is systolic, and the lower number, this is called as diastolic. Okay. To understand, sometimes this confuses us. Okay. As we know, this is normal for everyone, but still these numbers, that which one is diastolic, which one is systolic, we used to get confused sometimes. Okay. So you can for easy learning, the this is as a synonym, you can learn that decreasing, the word decreasing, something which is related to decreasing, that is this lower number. Okay, that is diastolic. Okay, and this is 80, small number. And which is bigger one, it is 120, up above one. Okay. So what this 120 is, your it is written, each time the heart beats are 60 to 7 times a minute at a normal resting position. It pumps out the blood into the arteries. Your blood now from here, our blood, your blood pressure is at its highest when the heartbeat pumping the blood. This thing is for systolic one. Okay, this thing, what it means, that the blood pressure is at highest. Our blood, the pressure exerted by blood on the walls of arteries will be the highest or the maximum in number when heart beats. Okay, at the time of beating of the heart, lub dub sound comes now, beating of time, pumping the blood, because this lub dub is when our heart is pumping this blood. Okay, so this is the highest, therefore this number is highest number. Okay, and when the heart is at rest, normal resting condition, between beats, like one time lub and other time dub. Okay, so at this time the highest pressure will be there, this time also highest pressure will be there. In between, the time in between is something which is related to diastolic. Okay, that's why it is written between beats your blood pressure falls. Okay, that one is known as diastolic. So this one is related to this 120, and this one is related to your diastolic. Your blood pressure is always given as these two numbers with the above or the before the other. That means above and the side, or side by side also we used to write it. This is the standardized, which is used to be called as standardized for all everyone. Blood pressure unit standardized for everyone. Still, females used to have a little lower one that is perfect for them, but one they have kept for the standardization is 120 by 80. Okay. Now systolic, it is written in the words what all
Ma'am,
systolic. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
My grandmother is a high BP patient. Okay, so
Yes.
sometimes her systolic goes 140.
Uh,
So
okay.
and she's on medication also,
Yes.
and she is 80 plus. So is it fine after medication
Ac-
also?
No, actually, yes, ma'am. After medications and also with the age, this changes. Okay, from 120, 140, even it goes to 160. That is too much. But 120 to 140 is okay. Because their age is also there. You must be old, hai na? And medications also. But medications leads to this. But as I told you, for the females also, lower blood pressure. They used to. It is said that females have lower blood pressure as compared, like 81 is 70 for them, diastolic is usually 70, 75, that somehow like that. But as she is taking this one medications, because of that it could be happen, because medication something which again increases the force of your blood. Okay,
Okay.
but perfect one is this one only, or from 120 to 140 it's okay, no problem like that, but above that it's problem. Now systolic, which one? Upper or lower? Upper number or lower?
Upper, ma'am.
Yes. So,
Upper.
so higher number in the blood pressure reading represents. You can read this, and it's very easy. Everything represents the maximum pressure exerted on the arterial wall. As I told you, the maximum pressure at the time of lub dub, as it happens, pumping of the blood. Okay, that time it is maximum pressure. Therefore, highest number is there. Hmm. In a blood pressure reading, SBP, that is systolic blood pressure, is the pressure measured when you hear the first sound. Okay, I will tell you. When we use this stethoscope, this stethoscope, that instrument we doctor uses, that or for manual machine for BP checking, we use that pump like thing. Something is there, and we used to put that. Doctor used to put that stethoscope also and see hears our heartbeat. So whenever we are seeing their this one, hearing their heartbeat, the in this stethoscope, when we they are the units, matlab numbers are there. Okay, the mercury will lead like this up and up and up. Wherever we will see that we are hearing the first sound of the pumping. Okay, the like dub 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 dub, it will happen at that situation, that lub dub, or that which number, which measure it was there, that is known as here systolic blood pressure. Okay, first beat we will hear, when first beat we'll hear, that exact will be the systolic blood pressure, that is upper number we'll put them. And similarly diastolic, how we'll measure the diastolic will be the minimum pressure on the arterial walls, that is the maximum, and this is minimum pressure. So ventricular relax, this is a ventricular relaxation while timing time of relaxation, and that is at the time of contraction, so that is ventricle contraction. So how we'll measure this on a stethoscope? DBP, when we'll see that last sound, okay, like mercury will raise up. First we'll hear first lubbed up sound, okay, that one is systolic. But then lubbed up we'll be able to hear the beats, the time where the beat will be stopped, okay, we'll not be able to hear the beats. That exact one will be the diastolic blood pressure in that measuring of your bp in manual machines, okay. First beat sound systolic, last beat sound diastolic, okay, up till which we'll hear. Therefore it is written blood pressure measure when you can no longer be hear sounds with stethoscope, no longer will be able to hear the beat sounds. Hmm.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ventricular relaxation
Ventricle,
means
as I
what?
told you, na, here, this two lubbed up sounds will be there. Na? This is, although at that time, maximum contraction will be there. Maximum contraction will be there. That is ventricular contraction. This will happen in the condition of systolic one, okay, systolic pressure. But this relaxation in between will be called as diastolic. So that one is a ventricular relaxation when one muscles are relaxing, okay. Ventricle contraction in systolic and ventricular relaxation in diastolic, okay. In between condition is that, okay, first beat, second beat, between is relaxation state, na? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, normal bp as I told before only 120.
Ma'am, is it related to veins?
Yes, ventricular veins, it is only veins only.
Yeah, that's what I was. Okay.
Okay, this that is veins only. Ventricular contraction means contraction of your veins, and relaxation is relaxation of. Okay, now main. Okay, everything which we have studied before slides, all are for this one. On your subject oriented is this one. So you have to just understand everything and you have to focus on this only. Okay. So hypertension. What is hypertension? Hyper is something which is exerted or something like that. Or tension, it will create a pressure. We'll see what it is. So systemic arteries. Arterial hypertension is characterized by persistent high. Persistent means regularly, constantly, or regular high blood pressure in the systemic arteries. Okay. What is systemic arteries? Systemic artery which is providing blood to the system. System means our body system. Okay. So which part of our heart going to provide oxygenated blood to whole body? Who will tell? Can anyone answer? Raise your
Like
hands.
lungs,
No, which part of your heart will send oxygenated blood to whole body? Lungs send to whole body.
veins,
Aorta,
veins,
aorta.
ma'am.
Aorta is
Okay.
the medium. Which part of your heart is sending that blood to?
Yes,
Through
ma'am. Right
Ventricles,
atrium,
ma'am. Ventricles.
which ventricle?
Left.
right, right ventricle.
1 second, 1 second. I will see
No,
Left,
ma'am, I think left.
who
left,
is who
left
is
ventricle.
who is speaking. I will see. 1 second. Ah, yes. Who is saying right and who is saying left?
Ma'am,
Left,
left ventricle.
left ventricle.
Someone is saying right. Con.
I said, ma'am, but I did mistake. I
Okay.
know that
So
is
where
right.
from right ventricle where blood goes from right ventricle?
Into the lungs.
Okay. And
No, ma'am,
through which
from right
yes, yes,
ventricles, blood doesn't go anywhere. It comes from the right ventricle to the heart.
from right ventricle to heart.
I mean, from that superior vena cava, is it? Yeah. Like from it moves from right ventricles to uh, don't know
Confused.
what was it, pulmonary.
Left ventricle, ma'am. Left ventricle. Does it pump the oxygenate blood out?
No, I'm asking from right ventricle, where did blood goes?
Ma'am, from right ventricle to blood goes to right. Yes, means first atrium, then ventricle, then it will go through the pulmonary vein to lungs.
Yes. Pulmonary, who will tell these exception of your veins and arteries, exceptional arteries and veins in the body? Raise
And
your
where
hands.
pulmonary artery
Yeah.
take
Deepan sir has answered before. Last question I am asking. You answered correctly. Okay, I heard that answer, but I am asking from others. Okay, then Suja ma'am will tell exceptional arteries and veins.
Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood and pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood.
From where to where? Shravani ma'am will tell. Shravani ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, but I'm little confused. I don't know clearly.
Okay, Rajeshwari ma'am will tell.
No, ma'am, I don't understand
Gunjan,
this. Sorry.
Gunjan ma'am, Gunjan ma'am. No answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell. Tell
Can you please repeat the question?
the exceptional. Can you tell me about the exceptional arteries and exceptional vein in the body? Which one is them and from where it travels?
Sorry, ma'am, you are not audible to me actually. I don't know because of my network connection.
Okay, ma'am, you can mute yourself. Saket sir will tell.
Ma'am, pulmonary artery carries the blood from heart to lungs, and pulmonary veins carries the blood from lungs to heart.
Okay, which blood, deoxygenated or oxygenated? Which one?
Okay, ma'am. So from pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood to lungs, and from there oxygenated blood comes through pulmonary veins to the heart.
Okay. So you all should be clear about this, Tana. Heart, most important for every.
ma'am, yeah, what you were asking now, that from right ventricle where the blood goes, it goes into the pulmonary wall. So I
From
was
from right ventricle, where it goes?
to the pulmonary wall, ma'am.
Pulmonary valve. I am not understanding. Like which part of the body it goes? It goes to lungs.
Lungs.
Yeah.
The,
Okay.
so that I am asking. You are again and again saying that when a kava from I will okay. When we'll complete this class now, I will make a box diagram and I will make you understand this hard part. Okay. For 5 minutes, we'll take at the last with this. Okay. So now we'll complete this. So my screen is visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so hypertension, as we have studied, it is a persistent high blood pressure, like a regular or continuous high blood pressure is in the systemic arteries. Okay, hypertension, commonly known as the high blood pressure, is a medical condition which the force of the blood against the wall, which will make you understand what is blood pressure. Okay, walls of the arteries is consistently too high, which means this definition is force of the blood against the walls. This itself is named as what? Can anyone name it? In first slide we have studied. This is itself known as blood pressure. Okay, force of the blood against the walls. The force the blood is mm, giving on the walls of the arteries. Okay, this is called as blood pressure. So when it is regular or consistently or continuously, then it is called as hypertension. It is a significant because people also used to have high blood pressure. Okay, how we differentiate then high blood pressure? Hypertension is also kind of high blood pressure itself, but high blood pressure is will not be for regular or not will be for the continuous. If high blood pressure will maintained as a continuous situation, then it will be termed as hypertension. Okay, it is a significant risk factor for various cardiovascular disorders, of course, because all this hypertension or it will be related to your heart, so it can cause all the cardiac related disorders. Okay, including heart disease, stroke, etc., many other diseases. This is the main factor for that. Risk factor for the hypertension is will be high obesity, of course, obesity, stress, diabetes, everything will be the risk for this. Stress is main cause for all the diseases. Air pollution, smoking, etc. They can increase their like blood. Also, too much intake of the salt also can leads to blood pressure changes, because it will because salt, what I will tell you in the further slides. Okay, I will tell you in further slides. One second. Hmm. Now, symptoms, normal symptoms are like headache, weakness. You can study by yourself, nervousness, chest pain, blood vision, etc. It could happen with the regular high BP. And this is not a high BP condition. This will be the regular continuous high BP, which will turn into the hypertension. So there are symptoms. Certain. For the classification, this is important. First important part is hypertension part. These symptoms and all not required. Okay, for this subject. Okay, now classification is required still. Stage 1 hypertension is a top number, ranges from this only. You have to learn about the their range or changes in the numbers. Okay, 30 to 139 mmHg. This is in mmHg. Mercury. I will tell you at the last, because last year when I have made it study, someone asked me that why we are using mercury here. So I have answered it in the last page, because it is the only metal which is stabilized at the room temperature. Okay, top number ranges from 30 to 130 to 139. Then it will be at stage 1 of hypertension. And the bottom number will from 80 to 89, because 81 is completely perfect. Above that, like 81 to 89, it will be range in first stage of the hypertension. Now second stage of hypertension, when the upper number, which one is the upper number, what we call it as?
Systolic.
Systolic.
Very good.
Systolic.
Okay, you all are active or not? I'm seeing that. Okay, so 142 or the higher, if it will be above than 140, it will be second hypertension. Toward stage 2 of the hypertension. Bottom number, because 89 till 89 we have taken here, so 90 or higher. Very simple. So stage 1 and stage 2 of hypertension. Now based on the main, like what is the main cause for it? Actually, very less causes we know. Reasons we know. So primary or essential hypertension, when there is no exact cause is known for it. Okay, no, that condition is called as primary hypertension. Usually we can't know about that due to which this is happening. Okay, no organic cause is found, which means no disease and etc are there. Nothing will be found that किस वजह से, like, due to which reason it is happening. This is the most common type, and it is exact cause is often unknown. Okay, we don't know why it is happening, from where, etc. It typically develops over a time, is influenced by factors such as genetic, age, diet, or lifestyle. It is said to be, but still exact cause is unknown for this. Okay, you have to learn that primary essential hypertension cause is unknown. Now, secondary hypertension, the type of hypertension caused by a medical condition. Okay, if person have some other condition or some other disease, some other problem, the problem leading to hypertension or continuous persistent high BP, then that condition is called as secondary hypertension due to some other condition. Okay, due to some other diseases, such as kidney disease, hormonal disorders, medications. As I told na, you asked that, someone asked that my grandma is taking medications. Okay, medications also leads to that high BP. Told you, na? So this is how, due to some disease or some extra reason, if it is happening, that is secondary hypertension. Primary, the main cause is unknown. And stage 1, stage 2, on the basis of number, upper number and lower number changing. Now, based on the severity, okay, then again it will be divided into mild hypertension by the name itself, moderate, middle one, and then the severe. Okay, so as a 120 is perfect, so 140 to 160 upper number and 90 to 100 lower number. Moderate, for moderate is 160 to 180 and 100 to 120 lower number. And above than 180, it will be severe hypertension, which is very life threatening, actually. And lower number 120 to 140, this is very hard. Okay, because 120 is upper number and it is happening in the lower number. So you can understand it level. Okay, normal pulmonary, this is the diagram to show you normal pulmonary artery and narrowed pulmonary artery due to certain reasons. Okay,
Ma'am,
yes.
what is HG here?
M mmHg,
Yes.
mercury. This is for mercury. I'll tell you exactly. Okay, see. The last, this is actually Hg is for mercury. This is a millimeter of the mercury. Okay, because we used to give this is a unit for blood pressure actually. mmHg, millimeter of the mercury. This much, 90 to 100 millimeter of mercury. Okay, understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, this is nothing but how hypertension affects the body by adding more workload to the heart and arteries. Normal it is happening, but we are adding. Complications are coronary artery disease. This we will learn and study in next disease. Okay, the other complications for hypertension. Hypertension can also further leads to other problems like coronary artery disease, CAD, CAD we used to call it, and left ventricular failure. Left ventricular is the one which is supplying to
The
Body.
body.
through
Through
Lungs.
through.
I, I
Iota mean.
Who is saying lungs? Name yourself.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, who is saying? I'm asking your name, please.
Sakshi Pandey.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, now investigations not required. Still, blood pressure monitoring through sphygmomanometer, most common, ECG, chest X-ray, etc. And lifestyle modification for it we can leads to is weight loss. It will as what are the complications? What are the causes for it? To renew that causes and to remove that can leads to it. Physical activities. Then salt restriction. As I told you that salt, too much intake of salt will also leads to high BP. How it will be leads to? Actually, salt, that is Na. Salt is Na and Cl. Okay, sodium chloride. Okay, now salt formula is this, no NaCl. This sodium chloride, or will directly call salt. This NaCl actually is water philic. We used to call it water philic. Water philic means water loving. Okay, philic word here means water loving. So as NaCl is water loving, and this NaCl itself is actually Na is water loving. Na is water loving, and NaCl is the formula for salt. So this Na or sodium chloride, sodium will definitely going to snatch the water from our body. Okay, and it will take too much of the salt, the whole body, the blood is running over, so it will snatch water there because it is water loving, so it will snatch water from everywhere, and the blood will become more liquidify. Okay, more we can say more dilute, and if it will be more dilute, more liquidify, the pressure will definitely going to increase. Hmm. So therefore, salt restriction is the one of the lifestyle or food modification for it. Alcohol consumption, dash diet. What is dash diet? I have kept everything here. What is actually dash diet? Is nothing but the special name for this is given for hypertension. Dietary approach to stop hypertension. Okay, this is named as like this. Dash focuses on the vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. It includes fat-free or the normal everything. Okay, low fat dairy products, fish, poultry, etc. You have to avoid. And the diet limits foods that are high in the salt. Okay, limits means I told you na that it will ask us not to take salt and sodium, also called as sodium because sodium is hydrophilic. It limits add sugar, saturated fats such as fatty meats and etc. All this should not be taken. This is I told you that someone have asked me question for that, so I kept everything that you will not get confused. Why we use mercury only for the all these like temperature instruments and this one stethoscope, etc. Sphygmomanometer, etc. Okay, so at room temperature, the mercury is one which is stable fluid, okay, with high density. Thank you. With this, we have completed our hypertension.
Ma'am, what did you said about mercury?
Mercury, mercury is the only stable fluid, okay, with high density at the room temperature. Oh,
By stable fluid, what we means?
stable means it fluids are not stable, na, they are flowing. So it is stable fluid that can, matlab room temperature, it can at the room temperature also it is a stable fluid. That's why we
Ma'am, you are not audible. Is ma'am audible for everyone?
No, no.
Sorry, actually, I lost my connections. So, I told you that we have completed with the hypertension now, first disease of cardiovascular. Should we go for next disease today?
No, ma'am. Can you explain that the charts are related? You
What,
said
ma'am?
that you will show it with diagram.
What, ma'am? What are you saying? I couldn't hear you.
Ma'am, you said that you will explain this cardiovascular system full with the box diagram.
Okay, okay. So, should we stop the recording or
No, ma'am, please record that one also.
okay? So, where I should show you? Okay, this. One second. On this slide, I'll show. Okay, everyone, just start. Try to understand. I can't make good diagram here, but okay, adjust.
Ma'am, you are not presenting anything.
Oh, sorry. One second. Okay, now see. So not so good diagram, but try to just please adjust. Ah. Okay, very simple. Okay, with this diagram, if you will remember, na, never in the whole life you can. I like everything I can forget, but this I can't. Okay, so this is our which matlab name the parts. Okay, which box this is? This is right. We will see as a, we'll see as it is from our side. Okay, this we used to call as right atrium. Okay, RA, right atrium. This we used to call as left atrium. My voice is clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. This is right ventricle. Lower one are ventricle. This is left ventricle. Okay, remember that upper one is atriums and lower ones are ventricles. We'll see like from our side, we'll visualize this as this is on our body. Okay, you will understand this is by closing your eyes, you can understand this is my right side. So this is right atrium, the right ventricle, and learn like that only. Okay, everything. So from superior and inferior vena cava. Superior means from upper part of our body, that is our hands and this upper extremities, and one inferior is our legs. Okay, legs part or lower part of the body. So from superior vena cava, blood is coming, and from inferior vena cava. Okay, sorry, na. Inferior vena cava, blood is coming. Okay, deoxygenated blood, it will enter into the right atrium directly. From right atrium, which how many are there? Which one is bicuspid and which one is tricuspid? Who will tell? Name yourself and then answer. I can't see. You can answer.
Ma'am, myself Lipalika.
Yes.
So, ma'am, first one is tricuspid. That
First
is
one is in between.
tricuspid.
In between.
In between right atrium, right ventricle.
So this one is tricuspid.
Yes, ma'am.
Why I will tell you. So okay, these are tricuspid. मतलब three valve making
Three
every.
parts of bore.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So actually, because there is a much blood, deoxygenated blood to travel, and it is coming from our body, so it will take a tricuspid valve here and bicuspid. You can learn like that. So tricuspid valve, deoxygenated blood from superior and inferior vena cava will enter into right atrium. From right atrium through tricuspid valve, it will goes into right ventricle. Okay, ventricles. From these right ventricles, from these right ventricles, it will go into our lungs. Okay, somehow like this. It will goes into our lungs. In lungs, from lungs, this is only this exceptional your pulmonary veins. I will write here. Pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery are the only exception for your this. So pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood from your right atrium to lungs. This is your pulmonary artery. Okay, PA is very difficult to write here. Deoxygenated blood to oxygenated. Okay. Sorry, pulmonary artery will carry deoxygenated blood, it will carry oxygenated blood. Simple to understand, so that you can, even if you will to take the picture, it is will be very clear to you. That's why I'm writing everything, otherwise I can even only speak also. So it will carry, so right atrium will give deoxygenated blood into the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery will carry, exceptional pulmonary artery will carry deoxygenated blood from right atrium to your lungs. Okay, inside the lungs, as I told you, in respiratory system, that in lungs there are bronchi, bronchioles, trachea. Okay, at the last there are alveoli, bulge like structure called as alveoli. Okay, so this alveoli, have the power. In the first slide or first day, when we are studying about the this respiratory system, I told you alveoli have the capacity, these alveoli have the capacity to change carbon dioxide into oxygen and oxygen to carbon dioxide. So exchange of gases, exactly, exchange of gases are taking place inside this alveoli. Okay, this is big shape of the alveoli. Okay, now this now from here, the oxygenated blood, then blood will get oxygenated because carbon dioxide is coming in from inside this through the blood, and it will get oxygenated. Now oxygenated blood will go from these lungs into our left atrium. Okay, through which one, which artery or vein? Through,
Pulmonary veins.
yes, very good, through pulmonary veins. Okay, so I will write here pulmonary veins. Okay, very simple. So pulmonary, it will goes through pulmonary veins into the right atrium. Now from right atrium through this bicuspid wall, it will travel into left ventricle. Okay, and from left ventricle, it will goes into the biggest artery of our body, that is aorta. AO I am writing. Okay, AO, from aorta to whole body. Okay, this is my, I can't make it. Okay, to whole body. Yeah. So to the whole body. This is so it is now very simple to understand how it is traveling. So from now is it okay, because it is coming from superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, entering into right atrium. So very easily you just once you have seen, just close your eyes and you can easily understand that. Okay, easily remember that from superior inferior cava it will goes into right atrium. So close your eyes and just remember that it is coming in the right part of my like chest region. You just remember the chest region coming into right part of my. This is deoxygenated now. Through three walls are there because just remember, because lots of workload is there na. Therefore, we used to say that right ventricle is very thickest, because lots of deoxygenated blood is there, and they have to travel that deoxygenated blood into the whole lungs and all. Okay, so from here, deoxygenated blood will come. From there, through tricuspid wall, it will travel into right ventricle. Then through pulmonary artery, it will goes into the lungs. This is lungs. From lungs, it will goes into this right atrium. From right atrium, it will goes into left ventricle. Through left ventricle, it will goes into the body through aorta. Okay, this diagram is very simple. Not need to get that much that. So this box diagram is easiest one. If wherever if you have written exams and all, if you will make this diagram, this simple whatever I have made here, only this in a beautiful manner as I used to do in my copies, you will get full on full marks. Okay, for exams and everything. And this is very easy to remember also. Is it clear to all? Look, it's okay. You
Yes,
have
ma'am. Yeah, yeah.
simple
And
or
one more question I
Yes.
have is Misral valve is also is known as bicuspid valve.
Visual wall, no, bicuspid wall. This is not bicuspid wall. These are tricuspid and bicuspid. Like, wall means that your miserable wall. I'm not understanding.
Ma'am, mitral valve. See,
Mitral or
Mitral.
mitral? Yeah, maybe.
yes.
Ma'am, like, can you like spell or what? I'm not understanding the word.
MITRAL I guess यही होना चाहिए spelling. Mitral.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Mitral valve also called as na bicuspid.
Okay, mitral wall. I'll see mitral wall is probably in between the left. Okay, yes, from the in the left part. Okay, so this bicuspid one can be called as mitral valve. Okay, and this okay, and this one is called as mitral valve, bicuspid valve. Okay, I have seen. Okay, ma'am. This
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
left atrium and the left ventricle. This bicuspid valve is called as mitral valve. Thought you were saying miserable, something like that.
Actually, I forget the name. I just remember that it start with
No
MI.
problem. No problem. So this is clear to all, or someone who have confused, you can remember this one easily or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
You
Ma'am,
can take it picture because it will be goes off when I will back.
yes, ma'am.
ma'am,
I already told.
two valves is there. Means in heart, four valves are there. So, but in this diagram, only two valves you explain.
Bicuspid and tricuspid. This you are saying.
No, ma'am. I am saying in the heart, four valves are there. But in this diagram, you explain only two valves.
Four chambers you are talking about.
No, no, ma'am. I am talking
Actually,
about
ma'am,
heart.
I think
Means
she's
that
saying about pulmonary valve and that aortic valve.
aortic,
Okay.
aortic.
Okay. So, ma'am, aortic valve will be there now from left ventricle to the when it is going from left ventricle to the whole body. It will be here like this. Okay. Aortic valve. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. This is okay. So main are matlab like in between are these, but we used to study these also, aortic valve and pulmonary valves, etc. Okay. So with this, it is clear to all. You can understand it, and if you want, you can take picture because just on the PPT itself I have made, so it will goes off. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm now. Mm. Is this one helpful for anyone?
Yes, ma'am. It was. Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, what was your question for which you had answered all of this? Some exceptional something you asked which we couldn't answer, ma'am.
My question was that that time everyone is getting confused for all these Volven and that na, though you all know about that, still you are getting confused. That's why I told you that I will make you for easy for this. And my question, like you were asking, is I was asking that which arteries and veins are the exceptional arteries and veins in our body. Exceptional means normally work of the arteries is to carry oxygenated blood, but which one is exceptional artery and which one is exceptional vein? That I was asking. Pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein was the answer. Is it clear now? Okay.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay. Everything is clear to you all. Now, uh, it is exact 10. So, tomorrow I will ask the question from respiratory hood and cardiovascular hypertension. If we'll able to study only for 15 minutes, it's okay. But I will ask the question for rest of the 45 minutes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So everyone be ready. Don't say that I am not there in the last class. Also inform that the which some adda sir. Okay.
Ma'am,
He is not here now. Deepam
class
Bhan.
Deepa
class
Maddy,
third
ma'am.
class third is not yet uploaded, ma'am.
Okay. So you can put the because that I didn't used to put that. You can put on
Already
this.
I did, ma'am. Sir said we need to wait.
Okay. So sir
Ma'am,
will
what about ma'am the slides actually?
actually, I am just now I am sending. Okay, I remember that I
Okay.
forgot because for
Okay.
2 days I went outside. Laptop was not there for with me. Okay,
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
now only I'm sending to sir, and how he will send, then I don't know. Okay, he will send as soon as possible. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
but
Thank you.
just now I'm sending to him. Okay, thank you so much to everyone. Hari Om. Have a nice
Okay,
night.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hariom, ma'am.
See
Okay.
you.
Thank you.